Hello world, Krista here with Books and Jams, and I'm very excited today to talk to you about a project that I'm going to be doing for 2017. I know that I'm a little bit late in getting this started and that January is very nearly over, but I don't care. I'm still going to do it. The project that I'm doing is Booktuber Recommends, and I've seen a number of different booktubers who have done this either last year or this year, and I thought that I would have fun and give it a shot this year. I messaged a bunch of my favorite booktubers and I asked them to give me a recommendation of either a book that's a favorite one for them or something they think that I would like. And I'm really excited about the books that they suggested to me. I will leave in the down bar below all the information about the people that recommended me a book and also the book that they recommended. I'm excited for this list because it's such a variety. I have children's books on here. I have books by people of color on here. I have books set in other countries that I have on here, different genres. It's just such a really wide variety of books, and I'm very excited about getting into them for this year. I only own 4 of the books currently. The rest I'll have to borrow from the library. So let me just get started and tell you what are the 12 books that are going to go in my jar. I guess I'll show you. I have this jar that I painted at one of those paint your own pottery places. I don't have too much artistic ability, but I just thought this one turned out really good. I liked the stripes on the top, and it has this speckle paint on the inside, which is kind of fun. I've already written out the different books and put them inside there, and at the end of the video I will draw one out to start with. Let me just go through the list of books that I have and let you know what I'll be reading throughout the year. So first, Catherine from Jane Catherine on Books recommended to me Snow Falcon. I had never heard of this book. It is by Stuart Harrison. I don't know too much about this book, but I do know that it is kind of a family saga set in Pacific Northwest, and it involves actual falconry, which I've never really read about before. I am looking forward to reading it. I'd never heard of it before. So thank you, Catherine. Lisa from Brand New Book Smell recommended for me The Storyteller by Jodi Picoult. This is the story of this girl, Sage, who connects with this elderly gentleman in her town, and at some point, I don't know how old Sage is, but he asks her to kill him or help him to kill himself or something along those lines. And that is shocking in itself, but then it turns out that he was a Nazi SS guard in World War II. It just feels like there's no hope or no atonement for his sins. He's feeling very sorry for the things that he did during the war, and her grandmother is a Holocaust survivor. So it's just this clash of worlds but with this girl Sage. So between her grandmother and this elderly gentleman that she connects with, and it's about forgiveness and atonement, and asks those questions. Is atonement possible for somebody who's committed such heinous crimes? So it sounds like it'll be something that I'll really enjoy since I love World War II historical fiction, but it's a contemporary. It sounds like something that I'm really going to enjoy. So thank you, Lisa, for this recommendation. A couple of these are a little popular on BookTube, but they're ones that I haven't read yet, and Mistborn is one of them, and this is a trilogy that I was hoping to start this year anyway. So this was recommended to me by Allie over at Allie Sugar. She absolutely loves this book, along with almost everybody that I've heard talk about it on BookTube, so I'm really looking forward to getting into this. This is a fantasy about this world where there's some kind of magic system that has to do with metals or alloys or something. I honestly don't know too much about it, but I'm looking forward to jumping on the Brandon Sanderson bandwagon because I've never read anything by him. So when I pull Mistborn out of the jar, then I will get a good start. Katie from Life Between Words recommended for me The Secret Keeper by Kate Morton. She said she likes even better than Forgotten Garden, which is the only Kate Morton book that I've read, but I really loved Forgotten Garden, and I love Kate Morton's writing, so I think that I'm really going to enjoy this as well. This is about a teenage girl who witnesses something traumatic or some kind of crime or something involving her mother, and so she kind of attempts to learn about her mother's past a little bit to figure out what is going on. I believe it's set in 3 different time periods or 2 different time periods as this girl, what's her name? Laurel, as this girl Laurel tries to figure out what she saw and what is going on. So a little bit of a mystery, and I hear that the ending is completely unpredictable, that you think you know what's going on, but then you realize that you have no clue. So I'm excited to delve into that one. Julie over at A Girl and a Book, she loves horror and thrillers, and so I was excited to get a recommendation from her Even though I told her that I don't really like really scary books, she chose for me Before I Go to Sleep by S.J. Watson. And she said it is a thriller, but it's not scary. So I'm excited to read that. I do enjoy mysteries and light thrillers, but I don't like to be scared too much. When I looked it up on Goodreads, this was one of the first questions in the description. It said, what if you lost your memories every time that you went to sleep? So it's about this woman that I believe that happens to. Every night she goes to sleep and she forgets, or she loses her memories from the day. And so she has people that she trusts to tell her the truth about her life, but it turns out, I guess, that they're not telling her everything. They're leaving things out. So that sounds super intriguing to me, and I am excited to read a thriller that Julie loves. So thanks, Julie, for that recommendation. Jordan from J Bookish recommended to me Homegoing by Ya Jessie, and I have seen this all over BookTube, but I haven't yet picked it up. And this is a generational saga, I believe, of an African family. So I believe that it's almost not short stories, but each section kind of takes the next woman in this family line, and you follow this family through a few generations. So I'm really intrigued by that and very excited to read Homegoing. So thank you, Jordan, for that recommendation. I think she recommended it before she was even finished with it. So if that tells you it was really making an impact on her. So I'm really looking forward to reading Homegoing. I asked the girls over at Bedtime Book Club to recommend to me a book written by an Australian author. I haven't read too much by Australian authors. I know I've read Marcus Zusak and Leanne Moriarty, who I believe are Australian authors. Oh, and M.L. Stedman, who wrote The Light Between Oceans. And I really enjoy all of those books. So I was excited to find something new that I hadn't tried before. I put two options that they chose for me on the card for their recommendation. And that is Looking for Alibrandi by Melina Marchetta, which I believe is a contemporary novel. I don't really know too much about it. And the other one is The Thornbirds by Colleen McCullough. And I have heard of The Thornbirds before. This is a family saga drama type of book that's pretty popular. So I'm looking forward to one or both of those books when I draw their recommendations. So thanks, girls. Evie from the BookTube couple, she chose for me Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. And I think this is another fantasy. And I believe it's kind of a dark fantasy. I don't know too much about it. I think when I first started watching BookTube, I saw this a lot. I think it's a polarizing book. I think some people really like it and others don't. So I'm looking forward to giving it a chance for myself. Jenna from Jen the Librarian is a newer booktuber, and I love her channel. And she chose for me two children's books, which is appropriate since she is a children's librarian. She chose Mandy by Julie Edwards, which is Julie Andrews from Mary Poppins and Sound of Music fame. Mandy is about an orphan who climbs over the orphanage wall and finds this cottage and decides to kind of make it like a home for herself. But then one day she gets sick and the people in the orphanage don't know where to find her because she's at the cottage, and she discovers a friend there that she didn't know she had. So this just sounds like a sweet story, something that I would really like. Sounds like Mandy is a little bit precocious, but charming as well, and I'm excited to read a book written by Julie Andrews, who I love. Jenna also recommended The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane, which is a book that I just recently gave to my goddaughter, so I'm excited to read this as well. It's written by Kate DiCamillo, who I love. I've read a few other books by Kate DiCamillo, and I'm excited to read this one. So those I'll probably do both of them in the month. Since they're children's books, they'll be much quicker to read. Hope from Hope Ortego recommended to me An Invisible Thread, which I just recently hauled. And this is written by Laura Schroff and Alex Tresniowski. And this is a nonfiction about a woman in New York City who's a successful ad sales rep, and she meets this boy on the street. It's all about this simple act of kindness and how that begins to weave a thread in between these two people and connects them. It just sounds like it will be emotional and a lovely read about kindness and paying it forward, and I'm really looking forward to having a nonfiction on my list. Maria from Read, Create, Repeat Homeschool recommended to me a ton of books, and I'm super excited. I added all of them to my TBR, but the two that I chose for her card are The Girl Who Came Home by Hazel Gaynor, and this is a historical fiction set during the Titanic in the early 1900s. I don't really know much more than that, but I love historical fiction, so that sounds very interesting to me. And also The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry, and I don't know much about that one either, but I'm very excited to read a book that Maria loves, and she highly recommended those to me, so I'm excited. Finally, Kales from Kale's Corner recommended to me a fun book. It sounds like it's called Stravaganza, City of Masks by Mary Hoffman. And this is a YA time travel historical fiction book that's about this group of English children who travel through time, and they end up in Italy during a carnival, and they have to help solve a mystery or save someone's life or something along those lines. It sounds like a fast-paced, fun book that I will really enjoy. So I just want to say a huge thank you to all of the people who recommended books for me. I really appreciate you taking the time to give me a few books to read. Some of you gave me more than one, and I added other books to my TBR as well. I'm going to go ahead and pick one to read, hopefully by the end of January and maybe into the beginning of February as well. But let's see. I got one. Let's see what it is. All right. So this is from Maria at Read, Create, Repeat Homeschool, either The Girl Who Came Home or The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry. So I will put those on hold at my library and pick them up as soon as I come back from a little trip that I'm taking this week to Florida. Oh, let me just show you real quick. I have my Disney nails on for my trip to Orlando. If you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen these, but I have some Minnie Mouse action going on in my jams. Thanks so much for watching, and please do check out all the channels of the people that I mentioned below. I love these guys, and probably you're following some of them already, but hopefully you find a new person to watch. You'll continue to see my jar make its appearance in TBR videos throughout the year as I read these awesome books from these lovely people. All right, that's it for today. Please comment if you've read any of these, if you are excited for me to get to them. I'm super excited. If you want to read along with me as I get to them in different months, please join me. I would love that as well. So comment down below. I'll chat with you down there, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will be talking to you soon. Bye.